Have you ever been around someone and just wondered how they have complete mastery of their emotions? Or you see someone and they're totally in control and you just are not sure how they're doing that? Well, in this audio, I'm going to explain some characteristics of people who are able to really implement emotional mastery at any time. It's not enough to control your emotions or have emotional intelligence. You want emotional maturity and you want to be able to master your emotions. My name's Alex Morgan, and I help you align your actions, your beliefs, your dreams, and your thinking so you can achieve success. And success is here, and you might as well be ready for it. One of the easiest ways to have success is to make sure that you master your emotions. And one of the easiest ways to do that, or the first real characteristic of people who have emotional mastery, is their self-awareness. They're able to recognize different emotional triggers. They're able to recognize certain situations, people, or events that provoke certain strong emotions. This could be positive emotions or negative emotions. And this allows them to better prepare and manage their emotions. Not just manage, but master their emotions. They think about situations before they even enter them. They know who's going to be there. They mentally prepare themselves so when they're in the situation, they master it. If they're going into a sales call, they may know what questions someone's going to ask them. They may know what objections someone's going to bring up. If they're meeting someone for the first time, they may visualize this, and they may visualize themselves mastering this conversation, this communication, this meeting. So they don't allow themselves to get frustrated during something that happens last minute. They think about things in advance and they plan things in advance. They don't like to leave success up to chance, and they're very mindful of their emotions. As things arise, it helps them understand to where they don't even have to react impulsively. And they're able to observe others when they're communicating with them without any judgment. Have you ever been talking to someone and it seems like they're always interrupting you? Do you ever just take a moment to wait before you respond again? It's not like you get angry when that happens or frustrated when that happens, do you? Well, a person with emotional mastery, nope, they don't get like that at all. They take a moment to just reflect before they respond because they have complete mastery over their emotions. Another thing is people that have emotional mastery, they're able to regulate their emotions. They're able to know how to take a pause, when to take a pause, and what situations require a pause. Oftentimes, if you're selling something for a high-ticket price, you may find that you want to take certain pauses, or you want to speak at a certain pace. You don't necessarily want to talk too fast, because the people you're speaking to, chances are they have mastered their emotions to a certain extent. So we want to match their pauses, match the things that they do. And people who master their emotions, things that happen, they take a pause before just reacting. They think about what they're going to say or what they're going to do. Or they may even gather their thoughts and their emotions for a bit before they jump right in and give their side of the conversation or their point of view. They may even take certain deep breaths before responding, especially if someone is trying to argue with them. Most people that master their emotions, they don't want to argue with others. They're happy just getting their point across in whatever way that they want to. However, if they feel that someone is arguing with them, they take a nice deep breath and just gather themselves before they say anything. They may use some deep breathing techniques where the person won't even notice, and that's how you truly master your emotions. People will never know if you're feeling something that you don't want to feel. And the wonderful thing about people that have characteristics of emotional mastery is they're able to do things with the most flexibility. They understand that the person with the most flexibility of behavior and the most flexibility of their state is the one who can control the system or the communication or the argument or the conversation. So if you're able to feel certain things, really powerful and resourceful, positive, empowering emotions, Imagine how that would be influential for someone else. However, what if you were talking to someone and you felt negative emotions as well, and those weren't so empowering? I'm sure that would influence someone else too. So people with emotional mastery, they're able to differentiate between these, and they choose the positive emotions, and they're able to master those, and they're able to be flexible in those so that they can get their point across. And it's much easier to influence a person when you have a empowering emotion in your body and in your mind. Imagine the words just come flowing out because you feel so confident, you feel so motivated, you're so decisive, or you're so calm. Have you ever spoke to someone when they felt all those things and you just think, this person just really knows what they want? And it influences you to really know what you want as well. All of a sudden, you can make a decision. So anytime I'm on a sales call or I'm talking to someone and I want them to make a decision, I get into a decisive state myself. And I'm really decisive in the things that I say. Just really decisive. I think about that. What's a time in the past that I was really decisive? What did I see? What did I hear? What did I feel? And I just feel that decisiveness when I ask my questions. And I'm also really curious about this other person. So people who master their emotions, they have this characteristic, this flexibility that they can go into different feelings to influence the person whenever they want. Now, anytime you're influencing another person, of course, you want to consider how the other person is going to benefit. Never master your emotions to manipulate another person. Of course, influence them to achieve what it is that they want. So anytime you're talking to someone, that's why it's important to also ask questions so you know what the person wants, so that out of that conversation, you can influence that person to get what they want. Because most times people are talking to us because they want to hear our perspective and they want to get something out of the conversation. So it's good to be able to influence that person in a way that you can deliver that result to them. So another characteristic is people that master their emotions, they accept their emotions as well. Mastery over your emotions does not mean that you suppress your emotions. That's a wonderful thing about the unconscious mind. It's the domain of the emotions. It stores your emotions. And so when things happen, you need to accept that emotion. You can feel it, good or bad. That's a natural part of being a human. When you suppress your emotions, that can lead to negative emotions. That means you can have difficulties with your emotions. Because how many times have you noticed the unconscious mind, it also shows you those emotions. It delivers them right to you and says, hey, maybe you should deal with this fear. Maybe you should deal with this anger, this sadness, this hurt, this guilt, this regret, this frustration, this irritation. And what do? Do you deal with it? Do you accept it? Do you learn from it? Or do you suppress that back down? Because negative emotions, like I said, they can lead to even more frustration and more of those negative emotions if you don't accept and learn from those emotions. So you need to acknowledge things. When something sad happens, acknowledge that sadness instead of pretending that it doesn't exist. This acceptance allows you to process and move through the emotion, because when you actually do that, you learn from the emotion, and that emotion then, because you learn from it and you have positive learnings from it, it actually turns into something much better. You change the whole meaning of that event. So emotional acceptance is really important, and that's why you also need to have flexibility of behavior to be kind and forgiving to yourselves, especially when emotions are running high. Every single person has emotional moments, and it's important that you learn to accept those emotions, because you're actually going to recover faster than just shoving them back down and not dealing with those emotions. The more you repress them, the more you resist them. There's often a saying that what you resist persists. So if you keep resisting that fear, maybe you keep having it. And if you want to deal with negative emotions, go ahead and reach out to me. All my information will be in the description of this audio, and I can definitely help you work through those emotions. Also, people who have emotional mastery, they just have so much social awareness. They're attuned to the other emotions that are in the room, the emotions of others. They're observing these other people and they're understanding what they're going through. They get a baseline of when they think a person's feeling a certain way, and then they notice things in the person's speech and their physiology, things that are happening that show that they've moved into a different emotion. And this can help manage your own emotions. It could help manage the emotions of others, because then you'll be able to be flexible and you won't need to match their negative states. No, you'll be able to be in an empowering state yourself and influence them to do the same thing. And this can also help you prevent any conflicts, any arguments, any misunderstandings. Because if you think about it, people often get frustrated because they don't know how another person feels. They never take the time to actually respond in a calm way. When someone's upset, they usually match that, and then it escalates even further. A person who masters their emotions, they're able to pick up when someone's upset, and they're able to lower that. They respond in a more calm and thoughtful way. So not only is this emotional mastery, you're also listening to another person. You're really listening to what they have to say. You're curious about what they have to say, and you pick up the emotional context that goes along with their words, their actions, their feelings, their expressions, and this will lead to better emotional responses. So really, a person who has emotional mastery, the wonderful thing is they always view emotions as an opportunity for growth. So if you really want an opportunity for growth, then you need to work on mastering your emotions. It's one of the things that I teach in all of my training. So if you're ever interested in those, go ahead and reach out. All my information will be in the description of the audio. Go ahead and comment below and think about something that you want to implement that you learned here. What's a characteristic that you have or a characteristic that you want to have? And you can even explain how you use that characteristic today to master your emotions. If you haven't already, go ahead and like the audio and subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate all the people who have been subscribing lately, leaving comments, recommendations, asking questions, and reaching out. It really helps me to keep making content every single day. So I do appreciate everyone who comes across the content. It's really an opportunity for me to even learn about things that I make, because every time that I'm talking about something, I learn something myself. And I think this will really make the world a better place if we're all learning together. So thanks for listening, and I hope to see you on the next video or the next audio.